The first Men's Parliament was held in Port Elizabeth today. The Eastern Cape Men's Council in the province ran the event, which discussed various topics such as patriarchy, effective ways of dealing with gender-based violence, men's health and ways of empowering women. Our reporter Lerato Thipa has more.
Well, the Men's Parliament, which was launched in November in 2017, has come to the Eastern Cape for the first time. Various issues were discussed like patriarchy and also ways in which men have to play an active, accountable role in making sure they protect women against rape and violence. Certain areas are also talked about the importance of men going for HIV testing, issues of circumcision, and above all, the role that men from leadership to communities to the public sector and the role that men have to play making sure that at home, in schools, at work, they play the individual role of making sure that they secure women against violence and against abuse that women are subjected to in our society. Joining me this afternoon is the chairperson of the Men's Parliament. Tell us briefly, Mr. Sia, when this Parliament started and what is the initial plan about this Parliament?
Thank you. The initial plan of the Men's Parliament is to have men in the one place discussing issues that are affecting them socially, economically, psychologically, so that they can be able to articulate what is happening to them. Because for now, the programs that are there in place are concentrating on women, children and youth. Even the sector parliaments that are in place, they are for women, children and youth. So by doing this, we want to implement through the government policies, hence the legislature is here, the office of the Premier, so that the Men's Parliament can be recognized as one of the sector parliaments in the province. So where men will be given a platform to discuss issues that are affecting them. You mentioned the issues of health. It is known in its effect that at 1.2 million of the people that have tested in the Eastern Cape, in that only number is only 30% of men. And then we need to motivate men to go for testing, not only when their wives or their girlfriends had went to the clinic to say that, okay, the same status we have is the same status that I have. And also the programs that are there economically, the EPW programs that are in place also concentrate on women, youth, and then there's nothing for men. And then men, they sit around taverns to drink and then not to do the program. So we want them to discuss those issues so that they can be able to take role not only on the taxi business, but also to check about what are other issues that can assist them economically as men.
I see there's also been a lot of criticism around men. We saw women taking to the streets saying men are trash. We saw the gender-based discussions taking place nationally. In terms of the gender-based violence, which has been a topical issue in the country throughout 2018, what role does the Parliament play in addressing the scourge of gender-based violence, especially against women?
One of the programs, we are responding to the 24 demands that have been tabled by the women's sector national in the total shutdown. Our programs are in line, and if you can see what has happened in the gender summit, you have seen the president crying about when women were speaking about their victimization in men's hands, who are supposed to be protectors in their society. Hence we are implementing these programs because we want men to draft a program, a strategical plan that will speak about the issues that are happening. We have the men's charter so that we want a man to be accountable, not to me, but in your own space, to be accountable in your own society, in your own family, so that you can be accountable in terms of not perpetrating the gender-based violence. You take responsibility in terms of protecting women and children in your society where you are based.
Now, we know that here it was a combination of people from private sector, traditional leaders, church leaders, but beyond the sessions that you have here this afternoon, are there plans to take this and roll it out to communities where the fundamental problem of rape, of gender-based violence actually occurs, also in terms of patriarchy as well?
Yes, we out of this Men's Parliament, there are discussions and also where we agreed that after this we need to roll out even to district, to the locals. We are going to implement the district Men's Parliament through the offices of the speakers, the offices of the mayor in district, even down to the locals, even to the wards, so that men can be able to be given a platform. They must be making utilization of the platform. You can see, even if your community, you can go and call a meeting. It's only women who respond. But in this case, we want men to respond, to be part of the change, and also to speak out, because I think one of the issues was mentioned, the issue of depression in men. Hence, we are in this situation. So we need to deal issues of health, especially the mental health on men.
Well, there was a chairperson of the Men's Parliament, Siandes, is saying the fundamental role of this parliament is to equip men to be accountable and responsible leaders, but also saying important that the plan is to take this parliament to the district, to the municipalities, where the core problem of gender-based violence actually exists. So saying it's not just a talk shop, it's not just men coming together to discuss issues facing men, but ultimately they want to take this to communities, to the rural areas where the fundamental problem of gender-based violence actually exists.